Okay, so now that we've seen that gene expression programs are important in health and disease and can tell us a lot about what's going on in the tissue, let's talk about how we actually measure the genes in the tissues. So we're going to use a technology called spatial transcriptomics to measure gene expression in a tissue using imaging. So in spatial transcriptomics, we are measuring the expression of every gene inside every cell in a tissue. So here I've taken a piece of colon tissue in the H&E stain, and I have outlined the border of every single cell in that tissue. And this is called segmentation. And inside these cells, I would like to say what genes are expressed and what genes are not expressed. And to do this, we're going to use one of the many technologies out there to do spatial transcriptomics. We're going to use the Xenium instrument made by the company 10x Genomics. And we are going to use this to measure gene expression in the colon tissues. So here on the left, we have an H&E stain of the colon mucosa and the submucosa. We have the epithelial layer, the muscle layer that separates mucosa and submucosa. And we're going to run the Xenium spatial transcriptomics instrument and measure the expression of genes inside cells. So here's an example of that measurement where we have measured the gene EpCAM, which is normally expressed in epithelial cells. And what we're showing here is every single dot is a single EpCAM gene transcript. So the EpCAM gene was transcribed and an RNA molecule was made, and each of these dots is one of those RNA molecules or transcripts. And what you can see is that the location of the RNA molecules for EpCAM perfectly overlap with where the epithelium is as judged by the H&E image. So that's really beautiful. We can measure another gene, Desmin. Desmin is normally expressed in muscle cells, and we can see that the Desmin gene is showing up in this muscle layer. And again, we can compare it to the H&E image. And the H&E image and the Xenium spatial transcriptomic measurement, they have the same coordinate system because these measurements are made from the exact same piece of colon tissue. Then finally, we can look at this other gene, Decarin, which is more spread out, but it's normally found expressed in the submucosa, so the bottom of the H&E image. And now we can keep doing this over and over and over, and we can measure many, many genes. And here, I've superimposed into one image all gene transcripts that we measured during our spatial transcriptomic experiment. And there are 480 genes whose expression we were able to measure in the colon tissue. So you can think of this as a 480 channel image. And you can compare that to the H&E image, which is really a 3-channel image. It has red, green, and blue. So you're getting a lot of information here from these spatial transcriptomic measurements. So now I'd like to just walk you through how a spatial transcriptomics experiment works. This is a bit technical, so don't worry if you don't understand every single detail, but we wanted to walk you through this because it's such cool technology. So it starts with us placing a tissue on a Xenium slide. Xenium is the spatial transcriptomics instrument we're using. And then once the tissue is placed on the slide, we add DNA probes that are going to bind to every gene transcript in a specific manner based on complementary DNA base pairing. Now, these probes also have an optical barcode that's encoded in the DNA sequence. And there is a unique optical barcode for every gene we would like to measure. So EpCAM has one optical barcode, and Desmin has a different optical barcode. Now, how do we read out these optical barcodes and identify the gene that we have the probe bind to? And that's this really elegant scheme where we're going to read the sequence of the optical barcode using rounds of microscopic imaging. So this is kind of similar to how you would use your phone to scan a QR code. So you might go to a restaurant and you scan a QR code and it's for the McDonald's menu. And then you go to another restaurant and you scan the QR code and it's for the Burger King menu. So those are two different QR codes that link to two different menus. In the same way, we're going to be reading out these optical barcodes and they are going to be linking to different genes that are being expressed inside that cell. So here's how that works, where we're going to have rounds of imaging, where every single round of imaging, we read out one character of the optical barcode. And the optical barcode is encoded or decoded using fluorescent molecules. So here we have a cartoon of the cell with the nucleus at the center, and we have different transcripts that we're reading out. And every time we do a round of imaging, we read out one character of that optical barcode. So here in RNA molecule 1, the first character is orange. In an RNA molecule 2, the first character is purple. In an RNA molecule 3, the first character is red. And then we do another round of imaging and another round of imaging. And as we do this, we build out an entire optical barcode sequence where, again, every single barcode is pre-assigned and unique to a specific gene. So for instance, this first barcode, which goes orange, blue, green, yellow, that encodes the gene EpCAM. And a different barcode encodes CD3D, and so on. So this is a really elegant scheme by which we can measure all the transcripts for the cells in that tissue. And again, this is just done by rounds of imaging on a microscope. So once we've identified all the genes in the cells in the tissue, we still have to say which cell each transcript belongs to. So how we do that is first we need to identify the cells in the tissue. And what we do is we apply a special stain called DAPI. And when applied to the tissue, this stains the nucleus of the cell, sort of the center of the cell, blue. And then at the same time, we have the location of the transcripts here, and we need to assign them to the nearest nuclei, essentially. And so what we do is we carry out a segmentation process where we draw polygons around the cells that are going to separate each individual cell. And this is often done using a deep learning algorithm to detect the boundary of the nucleus and the boundaries. And then once these boundaries have been made and the cells have been segmented, now we can say this transcript belongs to the green cell here, and this other transcript belongs to the purple cell here. So at this point, we have identified the gene transcripts and assigned them to individual cells. So let's review what the ultimate data that you'll receive looks like. So here we're showing the H&E image, and we're showing one gene, EpCAM, and it's being expressed in these little cyan dots. This is where it's being expressed. And we can see again that it's really in the epithelium, in these colonic crypts, and that's what we expect to see. We can look at another gene, MKI67. This is a gene that's expressed in epithelial stem cells. It's involved in making more cells. And these stem cells tend to reside at the base of these colonic crypts. And you can kind of see that they have this specific localization at the base. And the third gene I'll show you is Desmin, which you've seen before, and it's really showing up in the muscle cells. So you have this really nice alignment between the H&E image and gene transcripts that mark different cell types and states in the cells in the tissue. Let's look at another example. Here we're in the submucosa now, and we're looking at a gene PLVAP that marks endothelial cells. Endothelial cells line your blood vessels, and so the PLVAP is sort of forming this circular tube. And then inside you actually see this mass of red, and those are red blood cells that are carrying oxygen, and they're bringing oxygen into the tissue. Another gene I want to show is SNAP25. This is a gene that's expressed in neurons. It's involved in your neurons making synapses, and the neurons are here and here in this myenteric plexus or nerve fiber that's in between the circular muscle and the longitudinal muscle. So again, the spatial transcriptomics is really highlighting to us specific genes that mark cell types and states that we know are important in the tissue. And then finally, I'll show you one last example, which is this lymphoid aggregate, which is a collection of immune cells that aggregate in the mucosa. And you see in the H&E stain this sort of heavy patterning of blue nuclei. So immune cells are often quite small, and they're mostly just these small blue nuclei under an H&E stain. And in this lymphoid aggregate, we have two different cell types, T cells and B cells, in addition to other cells. But the T cells are marked by CD3 delta, and that's shown in yellow, and the B cells are marked by CD79 alpha, and shown in green here. And so again, we're able to really pick out these really fine structures of the colon tissue using spatial transcriptomics. So this is, in a sense, what your data is going to look like that you're working with across these three crunches. You're going to be receiving H&E images of colon tissue and ulcerative colitis tissue, and you're going to be having paired xenium spatial transcriptomic measurements where all genes, 480 genes, have been measured. And here again, they're just shown as little dots for where each dot is the location of a transcript. And then we'll also provide you with a segmentation, which is going to tell you what cell each transcript is being expressed in. So this is a lot to take in, but maybe one of the things you might have noticed me say is that we're measuring about 480 genes. And what you recall from the beginning of this lecture is that there are actually 20,000 genes in the human genome. So what about the remaining 19,520 genes that we didn't measure? Like, what can we say about those genes? So in the last part of this lecture, I will explain to you how we can measure those genes as well.